Hello everyone, this is Phi. Today I'm checking out Steel Seraph. I've not played this game before. We're going to give it a playtest and see if we can give some useful feedback. I don't know a lot about this game. Apparently it is, let's see, a shooter-adventure hybrid as it's described. I was asked to give a playtest on this by the developer. As a reminder, if you're watching, you can get in contact with me to request that I give your game a playtest. Now we're going to go ahead and get rid of the overlay. It opens up with this window. I'm going to see if there's, looks like we got full screen working. Looks like it's borderless windowed mode. Okay, so I've not seen anything past this screen. Looks like it goes right into options unless I hit a button when I was alt-tabbing or something. Which could be possible. Strafe mode, hold to strafe, dodge mode, hold plus arrow to dodge. Double tap to dodge is off, music mode is 16-bit, modern. Oh, that's that's certainly unique. Screen mode, normal. Looks like we went... Oh, full screen interactive. I don't know what that interactive means. Normal and full screen interactive. I guess that's perhaps referring to the borderless windowed mode. I would definitely suggest... Oh. Alright, it's a little weird because sometimes I can go into full screen mode, but this, the text part right here kind of changes back to normal. So it doesn't quite reflect what the actual screen mode is at the moment. In any case, I would suggest adding in an exclusive full screen mode. That's how you get the lowest latency for your inputs and everything, and I always prefer to play games in that mode, so that would be great to have that as an option. Language filter on, I guess that's for bad language? I don't know. Volume 100, camera scroll speed instant. Okay, this doesn't appear to change yet. Camera look ahead. Can that... Oh, we can... Okay, we can use the arrow keys. I've been using the mouse. So apparently there's some of these things that can be changed with the mouse. Just clicking, and some of them can't. But let's go back to the... I'll get rid of the mouse. I'll try the arrow keys here instead. So that's interesting. Obviously I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know what that's going to change. Contrast, saturation, brightness. That's a lot of changes. A lot of options. Use right stick off. Control input method, direct input, Xbox. Main mission arrows, red on. Side mission arrows, yellow off. That's strange. I wonder why you would want that off, but it was off by default, I guess. Important enemy arrows, important NPC, tutorial and new game on, zoom out on bosses off. Alright, that's a pretty exhaustive list of options. So that's, not a bad thing to kind of be able to tweak some aspects of the game how you like. Alright, so I guess we are in the game. I assume there's a controller in gamepad support. So I'm gonna grab my Xbox controller, make sure this is connected, plugged in. Alright, so I don't know, is it going into an attract mode here? Because I didn't press any buttons, I just plugged my controller in. Year 2299 of the Galactic Standard Calendar, hostile alien invasion force hits the colony planet Hera. I don't know, this looks like an attract mode, that's okay. So yeah, it's very retro, that's cool. Alright, story mode, bonus modes. Load previous save, game options, key config, demo, disclaimer, and credits. Exit. Let's go into here real quick. Ooh, okay. Strafe toggle 4. Is it really the 4 key? Is that like... I don't know. Repeater Z, X, C... and V. Strafe is Q. How do you reach that if you're using ZXC and V? I wonder. And dodge is E. Okay. So I mean, yeah, for me the Z key is a little hard to reach. Also, like the V key is quite a stretch. Like I don't typically use those keys much when I'm using like WASD style controls. I do know certain games make use of that, and it's not impossible, but especially for like a 2D action game type of deal, I would expect that would be pretty challenging. So dodge is E, that seems important, but also because you have to use like I use my index finger, so I have to take that off of the well, I guess we're not using WASD, we're actually using the arrow keys. That makes it more confusing. Like why all the other keys are wrapped around the WASD. Maybe both are usable. It only mentions the arrow keys over here though. Map is control, pause is escape. Strafe repeater. Alright, aiming up, down, left, right. So this is HBDF. That just seems to be completely random keys. So naturally I can configure this to whatever I want, but just looking at what the defaults apparently are, it's pretty confusing. Also, there's just a ton of stuff for like, you know, kind of a retro-styled game. There's just an awful lot of buttons. Skip dialogue, self-destruct, boss skip, on insert, debug menu. Obviously some of these things like debug and stuff you don't have to have it like easily accessible. And these other toggles. Quite interesting. Alright, I guess I'm gonna probably try, I mean this seems like there's a lot of keys. I can't tell exactly how many of these are going to actually be needed to really play properly. That's a little confusing to me. But it's probably going to be better on the gamepad, I'm imagining. So I'm just going to leave. I can't go back. Okay, I guess I could go back, but the highlight wouldn't go back when I was using the mouse, so that was strange. Game options, I believe we saw already. So I'm just going to go ahead. Well, let's make sure that, alright, the gamepad does work in the menu here. So I'm going to go ahead and try with the gamepad on story mode. Check real quick that everything is all set. Let's Alright, I didn't realize that my volume was alright. Yes, so the volume level is pretty loud. This is a very common issue I run into with amateur games, is that they make their games very loud. I always recommend checking out some of the games you've downloaded on Steam or whatever and just get your own volume level into sort of a ballpark of what theirs might be. I did turn it down in the capture, so hopefully you can hear me better than before. But let's go back in the game here. Oh, looks like there's a mission control briefing of sorts. Excuse me. Comms active signal appears nominal. Test pilot code SR341 Litornu? I don't know. Seraphine? This is Jeremy Kazahara. I'll be your operator for this exercise. You can just refer to me as mission control or something in that range. It's just easier whenever we have a shift change, since you won't always be working with me. Okay, so I pressed the button, the A button on Xbox, and the window kind of got smaller, but it didn't go away all the way. This right here, it's kind of weird looking. But I noticed there's some arrows and stuff on the screen. Just looking at this without interacting with it in any way, it's pretty confusing. I see a lot of shapes. There's some overlapping UI of sorts, I think. I would say that these elements don't really convey what they are based on their design, so it's pretty confusing to look at right now. I think I can't actually move or anything yet, so I'm just pressing the A button again. And this is the same message. So it kind of goes back and forth like this. I don't know. Okay. Well, I pressed the Z key a couple of times and that, okay, so maybe the X. Alright, so I guess the A button, for whatever reason, makes this window go up and down, and then the X button actually progresses the text, I suppose. So that's a little weird. It would be a good idea to have it, like, on screen here somewhere. Say, like, press X to... You know, you could have, like, a picture of the X button being pressed, or you could just say, you know, press X to continue, that sort of thing. Whatever button is bound to progress the text. I don't know how to pronounce this, so these are names that are very difficult to pronounce in English. He prefers that we keep things professional. I like to make my fun where I can, you know. Anyway, your servos should be warmed up by now, so we'll start with a basic movement test. Arrow keys by default. Just try moving in the 4 cardinal directions, then we'll let you advance. Alright, so move speed seems pretty fast. There's no inertia, which can be a good thing. It depends. It's pretty quick though, so it can, if you need like really fine movement, it can be pretty hard to do. There's arrows, so apparently the arrows are indicating something. Okay, we can shoot whatever direction we're facing, it seems. Alright, so if it matters, it's very hard to like remain facing in a diagonal direction. I'm not even sure if it's possible at this point. Alright, it is possible. The problem is, like, when you let go of either the thumbstick or the D-pad, you're very likely to end up facing a different direction, just because you can't like let go of both. Like if you're going up and to the left, you can't let go of both up and left at exactly the same moment. And you get a similar situation with a thumbstick. It kind of does the same sort of thing, but I was able to actually do it successfully with the thumbstick. It was just really hard. So I'm not sure if that's going to affect the gameplay. Next up is our firing test. This version of the microjet comes with a repeating beam carbine as a basic weapon with a 10 shot per second rate of fire like all microjet compliant weapons. It's also upgradable. Control pad users can also enable right stick for independent multi-directional shooting in the options menu. That sounds useful. Shoot down these 8 targets and we can move on to the next room. Alright, so it is weird that you can hide this kind of like that, but... Alright, so the thumbstick is not currently... I mean, the right thumbstick not currently enabled for that firing, but... Alright, interesting that I can't shoot downwards if I collide with something and then move left or right. I can't... like right now I'm pressing down, you can see it's not pointing myself downwards. I don't know if that will affect anything. Oh, okay. So it does seem like you take damage if you touch enemies, so... is there... Oh, there we go. Okay, I was trying to find a button that would lock my my firing in a specific direction. So it is on the right bumper. I'm not sure if the left and right triggers are used. I prefer to use the triggers over the bumpers. I noticed this is a difference in between different people. They actually hold the controllers differently. So some people rest their index fingers on the bumpers, and use like their middle fingers on the triggers. I rest my index fingers on the triggers, and that's much more comfortable for me. So to use the bumpers, it's like I can use them, but I have to reach a bit. It's like a slightly more of a stretch, so it's a little more uncomfortable. Can I get into... Alright, it looks like both the start and back buttons... I mean, is that a back button? It is a back button. I forget which button is labeled what on which controller. But Both of these buttons open a menu of sorts. Looks like I found I can press left and right. I don't know what any of this is. Left to go to local map, right to go to greater map. That's kind of weird. Why does it start in this state and then I have to press left to see the little dot? I don't know what that is all about, but nevertheless, that's pretty interesting. Looks like I could select weapons here, crisis triggers, whatever that is, dodge tools. Sounds interesting. Oh, I can use the bumpers in here. Wow. Save game, load game. The screen is very bright, it seems unnecessary, but interesting nonetheless. So I can get into my options and my key bindings in here, so that's good. This is what I was looking for. It was really hard to... Okay, so at the bottom it does appear to show down here like the controls, but it was really kind of hard to read and like tell what it's trying to tell me. It starts with button 5 and button 4. Right button, or right bumper, I guess, R1. The R1 and L1 doesn't seem to work, assuming it's referring to the triggers for the Xbox. That's interesting, but the bumpers do work, so... So what I might suggest for this is like put like an arrow to the left and then put the word equipment and then maybe the semicolon and then like say what buttons you can press, and the same over here, put the arrow like right here and then put key config and then colon and then maybe the buttons, and maybe in my mind that would read a little better. And you could maybe even like change the font to stand out a little more from the rest of everything written here. Because this kind of ends up looking like a lot when you've got so much text on the screen. It's like the player doesn't want to take the time to read through all of it to find out what is important, you know, especially when they're just starting. So, you know, it's really easy to just kind of gloss over everything. But if you, you know, use different texts, different size, style, color, boldness, things like that, you can kind of vary. It just kind of breaks things up, and also like you can emphasize the things that are more important and de-emphasize things that are less important, that sort of thing, and that's more helpful for like a human brain to process. Anyways, all right, so somewhere in here we've got maybe this one, strafe repeater. It says it's set to null though. Alright, if I press A it makes a sound but it doesn't do anything else. Oh gosh, I don't know if this even works. Alright, so I can't get any other button to work on this option. If I press A, I do hear this sound, but yeah, it's not actually doing anything. Also interesting, I'm noticing that the selection here goes all the way across. Oh, I can click. So clicking seems to work, but the selection goes all the way across, so it's highlighting two things. It seems like it's a bug to me. I guess that was... Wait, what? Press the enter key because it said enter, but... Wait, what? Okay, when I press enter, nothing happens except that this down here, this text changes. So I press enter and then what? Click again? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Pretty confusing. But yeah, like if I press left and right on the controller, it goes from highlighting on the right to highlighting both So this seems like a bug. But I think maybe if I use the mouse, I can click on this. Okay, that doesn't work. So I tried setting it to the right trigger, and that doesn't do anything. It doesn't respond to the trigger at all. And then I tried pressing the bumper, and it actually moves to the next thing. So clicking on it again doesn't do anything either. Oh my gosh. All right, no buttons are no buttons are responding in this menu anymore. I think it's just completely frozen. So that's too bad. I guess we won't be able to do any key config. Something just blew up here. I didn't actually see an object existing there. All right, so those things disappeared. Seems buggy, unfortunately. The things I was supposed to destroy stopped rendering. Nevertheless, currently straight. Oh. Okay, so it's turned into a toggle instead of holding down the button. Alright, so I definitely think I would prefer holding down the button, but hold to strafe. Okay, I don't remember changing that. But let's do that. The other thing is I wanted to try this out. Alright, so the stick doesn't appear to be working as of right now. Why didn't it save? Oh, okay. So I thought that was at the bottom there, you could see the text was being overwritten. Wait, how do we do this? Thankfully we didn't get very far yet. Oh, now it's not responding to the D-pad input. It works with the thumbstick, but not the D-pad. That's strange. The menu works with the D-pad though. Alright, so in this you can see at the bottom of the screen the text is being overwritten. Oh, it says exit to title. See, I thought it said exit key config or something like that, and you can see that the word key config is one of the words being written down here. But yeah, I couldn't actually see what that said, so I just went back to the title screen. Unfortunately, okay, so this is working now, the right stick. But, oh, okay, the D-pad is working now. Okay, so yeah, pretty buggy, but I guess we got... Oh. Wait a minute. That was weird for a moment. Okay, so there are cases where you can hold the right stick and it won't stay firing in that direction. But the only way I can recreate it is if I tap the hold to strafe button. So for instance, if I hold the stick this direction, then I tap the strafe button. Now I'm still holding the stick, but it shoots in the direction I'm running. So tapping that button seems to kind of override it. For a moment before, it seemed like I don't think I actually hit that button, but it seemed to do that. But I can't recreate it right now, so not certain about that. What could have made that happen? Oh, okay, we got a dodge button. That's good. Alright, trying to use this Xbox D-pad it can be a little questionable sometimes. Where are these like rapidly going from left to right without hitting other buttons? No, I guess that's a thing we can talk to. I know we haven't gotten very far in the actual gameplay yet. I already read that. So yeah, so using the right stick I can walk downwards into a wall and shoot downwards at the same time. Interesting to note that the... Oh, that's weird. Okay, I was gonna say the thumbstick is analog, but it is, there's only like a certain arc that you can actually adjust, and then you can see it kind of snaps to up, down, left, or right. Alright, that's very interesting, but also... I wonder what exactly this arc is that I have control within. Pretty strange, but I guess... I mean, I can understand why you'd want to have a zone where it kind of snaps up, down, left, or right, so you could successfully like shoot straight up or straight left or right if you want to. And I'm wondering like if this range is exactly between the 90-degree angles or not, or if there's like a little bit of a shift to it or something. I don't know. It's hard to really tell, but that would be something I'd be curious about. Test your suit's dodge enhancement system direction in E by default, or double tap direction. Your suit's boosters allow you to dash from point to point, high speed screening a window where you can pass through enemy projectiles. Invincibility frame duration is displayed by the gauge in the lower left. We're working on additional upgrades for the system called Dodge Tools, which will allow you to customize its function further. Dodge in the 4 cardinal directions so we can continue. Okay, so... Okay, I guess I just, I cleared. I didn't mean to move on yet. I wanted to experiment with it, but... We are authorized to begin flight test operation number 20458 at your convenience, SR341. What's your status? Interesting art. Also interesting how compressed it is. Lots of JPEG artifacts. I'm feeling decently warmed up. Flaps set, course integrated, set to military thrust, and taking off. Alright, when you're airborne, your suit's aerodynamic protocols lock your facing and firing arc in the current direction of flight movement, regardless of movement. Okay. But, oh, okay, so we're stuck in a forward direction. So is this a dodgy thing? Taking damage lessens its power reserve, but provides 1 second power spike that will render you invulnerable. Flashes blue. Also, player hitbox is an 8x8 pixel square at the center of sprite. It's nice to mention where the hitbox is. I'm assuming it's in the round part here. This is 8x8 pixel square. So I guess it's like the entire torso, approximately. Like this entire round part. Okay. Oh, okay, so when I left the menu, I guess I was pressing a direction on, I don't know if it was the stick or what, but... Okay, I tried to dodge that, but apparently you can't dodge these. I guess it's just trying to teach me about the health and stuff, but it seems like something you should be able to dodge, so it's a little confusing. Let's see, even if your entire shield gauge is depleted by a single attack, you'll still be able to take one more hit before the microjet is destroyed. Upon receiving a shield depleting hit, you'll become invincible for 1.5 seconds. This may also activate any crisis trigger which you have equipped. That sounds cool. So yeah, previously when I left the menu, my sprite kept moving in a direction that I had pressed, apparently when the menu had popped up. And it just kind of flew into something, so that felt a little wrong. For high-speed aerial maneuverability, you can chain dodge, hold E, move in alternating directions. You may not be able to use this technique with certain dodge tools, but it's very useful to master. What does that mean, alternating directions? I don't know what that means exactly. Supply items will always replenish at least a small amount of shield strength. Even ammo refills would give you back some of your shield, but not as much as dedicated shield refills. So I don't quite understand the chain dodge. Alright, it's a little hard to do this accurately with the D-pad and everything. Oh, those aren't pickups. They look kind of like pickups. Speaking of which, let's test some weapons out while flying. You need to be pointing at the target to shoot it with your repeater. Oh, they just stopped moving. Alright, so the bullets are a little slow. I mean, they're also very small, so you can end up kind of missing things a little bit easily. I might suggest bumping up the speed of the bullets a bit. It makes it more responsive and easier to hit targets. This weapon fires 3 large high damage projectiles over a 90-something area. Do I have to like go in and equip this? Oh, it's on the A button. Okay, so equip it to... Oh, I can equip it to A, B, or Y. Alright, so it'd be nice to explain that, but I figured it out. Does it have ammo? Okay, down here it looks like we have... Oh, we have mouse control. Mouse movement. Oh, that's weird. But it's like... I think it's slower than normal movement with the D-pad, so that's interesting. But yeah, it looks like we have an ammo of sorts. There's a number at the bottom, looks like 51. But I don't see like... It looks like there's a meter there, or there should be a meter there, but it's not showing any such thing. So maybe there's a little sideways bullet there for a second. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is just not implemented or if that's not working. You can also use the strafe function in the air to move more slowly in situations where you need precision over speed. Use it to maintain facing right. That's a nice thing to have. So I think that's the mouse that's causing me to drift after I get out of the menu, and then it takes a moment before I can get control back with the gamepad. Alright, so it's nice to have this sort of thing. Like I mentioned before, it can be hard if you're moving that quickly to do precise movement. My sensors are picking up a huge object coming at me. High speed from point E, man. When did Miriam have time to build a target drone this big? We don't have any more target drones scheduled. What in blazes? I'm not getting a recognized IFF signal off that thing. External comm channels are going nuts right now. I can't get through to FWAF air control SR341. I'm recalling you right now. Do not engage. And then she's going to be like, no, I got this. Holy crap, that's fast. Those are very fast bullets. I don't think I can comply. This thing's on an intercept course and I can't shake it. This is bad. I've got a visual on the bogey being tracked by multiple gun turrets. I guess we have no choice. Weapons free. Do whatever you need to just get away from that thing. Just think of this as an impromptu final exam. Till the Air Force gets here, I'm the only thing keeping this city away from the city. Oh, keeping this thing away from the city. Alright. It's pretty fast bullets. Oh gosh. If you keep moving left and right, it's easy to dodge, but like when you kind of get in the situation when you're in the middle of them, the bullets were a little hard to read until they were like halfway to you because they all just kind of overlapped. You know, the very big sprites and everything, so it's a little hard to tell where they're going exactly. Pretty easy to get hit. I'm glad to see you back in one piece. It seems we're in the middle of a full-blown alien invasion. To brief me on your encounter during the test flight, I'd like to say this would make for good PR, but we have bigger problems to worry about right now. Pretty wild. None? I think that would be the French language. You mean to tell me there are more of those things out there? So there is a pretty strange contraction for English because it already ends with this sound, so putting it twice is quite unnatural. Not to say nobody ever uses that, but it's a little weird. Indeed, so I don't know if I want to read all this. I'm already taking a long time to kind of get into the game at all. Alright, so again, the D-pad isn't working. I can use the thumbstick here. Interesting looking map. It seems to not be linear. I guess I just picked this item up when at 0 shields and with full crisis gauge, time will appear to flow in half speed for 10 seconds. Alright, that's really cool. So I didn't know that was an item, but I guess I just picked it up. Alright, yeah, so the map, the little mini-map thing at the top has some weird properties. Things move at different speeds depending on how close you are to them. So that's an interesting idea. I still have this, you can see this little star symbol right there, kind of just floating there perpetually. I guess, what button B, or what's that, X on this controller? X on this controller. What did he say? I missed the first part of what he said. Alright, we'll be watching you, especially right now. Take all the equipment you can find, then go east. Alright, so I think I missed the first thing he said. Maybe, I don't know. Can I look at that? So again, like, I don't know if there's anything on the walls that you can interact with, but if you get into this left-right position, you can't, like, go up. So I don't know if that's going to affect your ability to actually interact with things properly. District 12. I don't know what these are. O convert to F. Is that the second floor, maybe? Oh, this is a floor. This looks like flying cars or something. It's a little hard to tell what is a wall and what isn't, so it's not really clear to me. So as you can see, like, these are all walls, but then this here is walkable, and then these objects right here are walls. So it can be helpful to, you know, work with the color values and make some differences in the values that stand out more. So might make one darker and one lighter, that sort of thing. So I think, alright, this doesn't appear to be useful, any of this other stuff, so I guess we can go to the second floor. Oh, I got... Okay, the bottom, it says clear the way for 3 senior engineers and obtain their nearby gear, but I got stuck here for a moment. Alright, so if I touch this, it gets stuck. But if I press, what is it, A? Or just wait? Wait, what? Alright, I guess if I press X like a few times, it'll let me move again. So I think it's maybe as if there was a dialogue that popped up, except no dialogue actually pops up when I touch this area here. But I guess it's probably just telling me I can't go up there yet or something. Alright, so I guess this isn't responding to button presses. There is this. I don't know which one is activated though. Okay. So yeah, I'm pressing X, pressing A. I can't get this to do anything. Oh. I guess I just had to walk down instead of where the arrow was? Interesting, okay. Still not able to move. Oh, I have to use the thumbstick again, I guess. Alright, so I didn't realize there was a door you had to walk down through. Unfortunately, I can't use the D-pad right now, again. So I'll have to resort to the left thumbstick. This is pretty straightforward. The bullets are pretty fast. I don't know why they're shooting what seems to be randomly. But they are very fast bullets, especially with the amount of view distance I have. If they were shooting more at me, it could be pretty hard to dodge. I don't particularly like the... especially if you're in that mode. If you're in the strafing mode, which you're likely to be, you go a lot slower, which seems... when it's in the locked forward position orientation, and it's doing like a top scrolling shooter style, it makes sense to be able to slow down like this, but in this mode, with the shots being that fast, it seems to be a lot more of a detriment than a help to be able to slow down like that. So I would wonder if you would want that, because you can't use your normal run speed while also using this, and this is really quite necessary for aiming, so I might suggest just making, in this mode, the strafe button not affect your speed. These guys apparently seem to favor diagonals for some reason. I just walked into someone's house while I was trying to fight, so that was pretty weird. Definitely unexpected. Probably not such a good thing. You can just randomly like walk into somewhere while you're trying to play the game like that. So you might want to like require a button press or something. You can also, I guess, make it more clear where the doors are. I got something here. Whoa. Clear the way for 3 senior engineers. I don't know if there's a purpose to killing everything. I don't know, maybe that's the goal. It says clear the way. That's not very clear. It's not very clear to me. Might be a good idea to have, if possible, try and get the enemies to not like go right up to the edge of the level. Alright, got a lot more. Looks like if I go to the left past that wall or something, then I go to District 11. A little hard to tell what direction these guys are going to shoot in. Based on their sprite, it doesn't really indicate. Again, the shots are really fast. Not a huge problem, but... oh shoot, not very easy to deal with. Oh no. Alright, that's another reason why you wouldn't want to just, you know, walk into some place like that accidentally, because it just makes everything respawn again. I thought I was going to be trapped here for hours. This item's a special protocol for you suit called a dodge tool. This one, codenamed Tumble, increases the distance of your dodges. Okay, so that sounds like... wait. Did you actually give it to me? This menu seems to be missing some visual items, so it looks like a bug. Did he give me the tool? The D-pad is working again. Oh, was that it? Okay, I accidentally pressed the button. I thought I had to like walk up to it and press the button, because I keep trying to see if there's anything to interact with in the locations here. But I accidentally just, whatever screen that was, it just made it go away instantly. So if you want to show the player something after they pick up an item like that, I suggest adding a little timer, like half second to a second, that would not take any input until the timer finishes, so that doesn't happen. You have a little buffer there so the player doesn't accidentally close the screen before they get a chance to see what it is. But I guess that's here. I can only assume. Okay, so it's like slower. It takes a lot longer to come out. There's like a significant delay. I guess that's the downside to it. It goes longer, but it comes out slower. That seems kind of weird. And I think I'd rather have it be more responsive than go further like that. Alright, so there's an arrow that I can go towards. I don't think it was ever explained that I should walk towards arrows. Also, like, the collision is against the walls is really weird out here. So the fact that the enemies keep respawning every time I see some of the slow bullet movement is causing a little bit of problem there. So the fact that the enemies keep respawning every time I go into and exit a building makes me not want to keep killing them, so it seems like it's easier to just run past them. Once I got into this area, it's really narrow, so it was like really easy to take a lot of damage all of a sudden because there's not much room to maneuver with all the enemies in here. So those two ideas are kind of working against each other. I would suggest adding some kind of a memory to, you know, keep the enemies dead after going in and out of places. The other thing is that the, like I mentioned, the collision against the walls here is weird. Like, it doesn't seem like I should stop right here, but I do. If I go up, I think again that the collision box is right here. So it kind of like looks like I'm kind of hitting against this wall with the collision box, but when I'm walking down, it's like I don't even reach the wall here, let alone the perspective where this is, you know, sort of an isometric look, or at least orthographic, so that, you know, you'd expect to be able to go down further. But in either case, like when I'm going up, it seems like my hitbox hits here, but my feet don't, or even my shadow. But when I'm going down, it's like my shadow kind of hits this, but my hitbox is still way up here. So it's like, I don't know if it's basing the collision on my feet or the hitbox or what. It's just not, it doesn't seem even consistent. So pretty confusing. And yeah, if in a game where you need to dodge a lot of bullets and stuff, it's not necessarily very good to not know where the walls start and end. Better take this surge shot device. It's capable of penetrating solid structures, acquiring items from a distance, and hitting like a truck. That sounds cool. So do I have to find it in your place? Okay. Electrical energy shot with average damage and fire rate that can pass through walls. So I can't try it in here. Alright, again the D-pad stopped working. I accidentally walked into here again. Oh, it just shoots like straight. Alright, so this is a case where I actually, like, once I get up against this wall, I can't face downwards to shoot down at these enemies. So again, that's probably a bug you'd want to work out. I can do it this way. This seemed pretty strong. That's cool. And it's big and is much faster than like this, for example. Again, these bullets are pretty slow. Alright, so there's one more arrow down here. I guess it's in that building right there. I don't know if it was ever really explained at some point. Maybe I missed what I was supposed to do in this mission. I know at the bottom it says clear the way for 3 senior engineers, but it doesn't really give me much info to go off of. It's probably could have explained the objective a bit better. I kind of, you know, figured it out by now. You're just supposed to go towards, find the buildings where these guys are, and then they have items for you. This attack drone will double up your firepower, but it's not very durable. Floating attack drone that moves and fires with you. Which, oh, it's over here. So it takes a while to get the cursor all the way over here, you know. Robots that fire with you, destructible. How do I, okay, so that's another button that we have to assign that to. That's pretty cool though. So I do like the concept of the upgrades so far. They seem like good ideas. Hope you're fully loaded. We've sighted a large invader codename Shadindoji wrecking up the area around the southeast corner. Rush over there and put it down. Oh gosh, I didn't even see that guy. Just kind of blending into the grass there. Alright, yeah, and the enemies, they don't seem to shoot from off screen, but if they're even a little on screen, they will. And again, those bullets are really fast. Oh gosh, yeah. Whoa, what in the heck? What's that? Okay, we've got some screen scaling. It seems to be a bit buggy with this giant black blob and stuff. We're not even sure if this is... intended or not, but it's interesting. I mean, I kind of like being able to see a little more. Oh, now oh, my movement goes slower when I'm up there. What the heck is that? Oh gosh, he moves fast. Okay, I have to use the. Okay, so unfortunately, I have to fight this guy with all the other enemies here. So that's too bad. And my health. I don't think I ever got my health back. I don't know. Alright, continue please. Alright, we're back with the screen being weird. Now I can't move. Oh, it's slowly coming back, but I can't move properly. I can't aim. Oh, wait, there we go. Wait, it won't. The strafing doesn't work. It'll only shoot in that weird angle. So yeah, it's pretty bugged out. Does it work now? Now it works, okay. Now that we got the screen back to normal. Unfortunately took some damage before we got here. Oh, it's getting weird again. Oh jeez, I can't. Every time the screen starts doing that, my shooting doesn't work right anymore. Alright, yeah, so this is kind of annoying with all the other enemies around. There's just so many of them, and again, their bullets are so fast, they shoot from so far away. Yeah, that's not much fun. Alright, so it goes right through my little option guy, unfortunately. Oh, jeez. That did not look like he touched me, though. So, I'm not sure where the collision boxes are exactly. That they didn't look like his sprite even touched me at all, so it looked like maybe the collision box on him was like way too big. I always recommend making the collision boxes nice and small when it comes to those things that you have to avoid. Definitely smaller than the actual sprite, and if it's any bigger than the sprite, that's a no-no. So again, I can only rely on a brief moment and what I can remember from it. I can't actually see where the hitboxes are, but it didn't feel to me like he actually hit me, so that's usually the thing you want to work out. You don't want it to ever feel like that for the player. Let's see, the tiles are down so you can go east. People are free to move about D12 too. Okay, so get whatever this stuff is. KZ Jones bullet attenuation tool will reflect red projectiles struck by it, also capable of damage at melee range. Alright, that's cool. So oh, it's a bat, okay. That's pretty cute. So I think it doesn't have ammo, that's good. It has pretty long cooldown, which is understandable enough. Seems like it'd be pretty hard to use with the bullets being this fast. Does that guy even shoot at me? It's just a crab. And the UI is kind of covering stuff up right here. I went into Seraphine's house again. I guess this is my house now that I think of it, because I'm supposed to be Seraphine, right? But it's annoying to keep doing this accidentally, and also this is not working. Now it's working. Okay. So yeah, I like the concept of the bat deflecting bullets and smacking enemies. It's really cool. I like those kinds of things. So the camera stopped being weird up here, it looks like. But we can go to District 11. Oh, there was a red arrow, though. I feel like I should have gone back to wherever that red arrow was. Okay, we got a black screen. Alright, I don't know if you can see, my cursor is turned into this guy. That's not a good sign. I don't know if the game locked up. Ah, okay. Steel Seraph early access backup.exe has stopped working, unfortunately. So yeah, the game did lock up. I can try running it again real quick. See if we can get a little more playtime in, assuming everything works. Once I get back in here. There we go. Did it save any of my progress is what I'm wondering. Apparently not. Okay. Well, that's too bad. I don't know if there's a manual save mode or if there's any saving. I don't know how any of that works at this point. Nonetheless, at least we know how things work pretty much by this point. So I haven't really used the dodge much. Oh, you can dodge that. Last time I tried it didn't seem to work. There does seem to be a short moment between when you press it and when it actually happens. I don't really like that. I think it should happen as soon as you press the button. So yeah, with this kind of game, because you can generally dodge things by just using your normal movement, I think for me it's kind of weird to get used to actually using a dodge button. But it could just be a matter of getting used to it more. It's certainly not the first game of this kind that I've played with a dodge button, but it always seems a little awkward to me for that reason. So again, you can see some of these bullets just kind of go through or go around the objects because yeah, they're both small and not very fast moving, so you kind of end up with that kind of thing. I didn't equip this, so presumably, yeah, again, it would be nice to explain how to do this, I think. Oh, jeez. Alright, so my character got kind of covered up down here by all the UI. Don't really like that very much for this kind of game. It's very important to be able to see everything so you can actually dodge bullets and stuff. And again, I don't like those bullet patterns because it's hard to see for that specific enemy. Like when all the bullets come out, it's just like this big blob, and it takes a while for them to, like, they have to get like halfway to the bottom of the screen before you can kind of see clearly where the bullets are and where they're going, because of the way that they overlap when they first come out. So it's pretty confusing. It makes it a lot harder to dodge, especially with as fast as they are. All right, let's try and get through this. So this is crisis trigger. I do like that concept. Now I don't remember. There's more arrows telling me to go here, so I think I just go here. I can't move currently. Okay, I keep losing my D-pad control. Should just stick to the thumbstick. Alright, I was gonna say I'm not seeing many enemies, but let's go ahead and... oh, that's already equipped. Whoa! Yeah, so one of the problems... well, I guess the screen is square. I was going to mention it's harder to see up and down than left and right. That's usually the case when you have a 16:9 perspective, but this is like a square or a 4:3 maybe perspective. Not as bad, but you do have the UI up here. So again, I don't like how this covers stuff up. The map thing here is a bit much in that regard. I think you could probably minimize these quite a bit, so that they don't take up so much screen space. There's just a lot of... I appreciate how the elements are semi-transparent, but even so, it still blocks too much, so it makes things a little hard to see. some of these enemies are pretty bullet spongy. The little green guys take a lot of hits and they're very kind of small. So it makes it a little annoying to try and fight them. Probably reduce their HP quite a bit and feel a little better. Alright, this guy has like cans stockpiled, it looks like. Alright, that on the B, I guess. The other thing is that this, because I couldn't get the key config to work when I tried I have to kind of reach for the dodge button. It's a little unnatural for me on the left bumper there. Those are really fast bullets. I think they actually move faster than you run. So yeah, when the enemies are kind of small like this, you kind of, again, you see the effects of having your primary fire be very small bullets that are a little bit slow moving. Just makes it a little annoying when like half of your shots are missing. You're like trying to maneuver around, and that's something you could fix. You could make the shots a little bigger. You could just, even just bump up the hitbox a little bit. But again, if you make them faster moving, that sort of thing, it'll be easier to hit with also. Floating attack drone. So the only times I used this, that dude, big boss guy, was punching it out of existence like the instant I got it out. Which is kind of funny. But yeah, that makes a pretty big difference, as you can... I mean, it literally doubles your firepower, it seems, so... So yeah, the fact that it kind of like lags behind you, very sensible, and it also like kind of makes it more vulnerable, because like if you make little dodges, then it doesn't really follow. So it kind of seems to be well balanced, but it also seems like in certain situations it'd probably die pretty fast. It does have the number 600 next to it, so I wonder if you have 600 of these. Ah. A little jerky in how it operates, but yeah, it's actually a little weird that it kind of, maybe it's not like updating in the right... Oh, you can pick this up again. Okay. Seems to be a bit of a bug, but yeah, maybe that's not updating at the right time, making it jerky like that. Just completely ate that bullet. Alright, so that sort of thing is pretty annoying. There we go. Oh, jeez. Another thing you can do, I didn't think of it until now, but most particularly if you are attached to the idea of the bullets moving that fast, have a little bit of a telegraph before they actually come out, so you can see them like charging up or something. Even just a moment, it makes a big difference. So you can see there's an attack about to come out, and you can react to it rather than it just, flying at your face all of a sudden. Alright, so again we have to go towards the red arrow. I don't really think the collision doesn't seem quite right on these items. They seem to hit you before they reach you, just by several pixels early, that kind of thing. So I definitely take a look at that. Maybe it has something to do with when it updates also. It could be possible. Rather than just the hitboxes, I don't know. Alright, we gotta go towards our red arrow and get the final thing, which I don't even care for. Button. I'm trying to get rid of these as fast as I can so I can fight that big guy. Knowing that he only goes in a straight line makes it a lot easier. And rather than strafing backwards like I was trying to before, which got me into trouble because... Oh, again, I seem to... It didn't look like I touched him, but I took damage. So I really think the collision must be off here. Right, so now we can go east. Oh, these guys are still here. Oh my gosh. Wait, what? Oh, right, this is pick up from the boss. It might be a good idea to, when you kill the boss, to make the enemies disappear. So something that could be really bad is if you fight like a big boss and you finally beat him and you're like, yay, and then all of a sudden you just like instantly die from some other minor enemy that was right there. That could be really frustrating, so definitely be a good idea to clear out all the other enemies after the boss is defeated. Yeah, I can't I can't really see what this guy's doing here. Oh my gosh. I also can't really engage him like that. I should have done it this way, I guess. Alright, let's see if this crashes. Alright, looks like it did. So unfortunately that's all the game we're gonna get, it looks like. We played it for a long time though. So hopefully there's some useful information in the video there for you. So in general, I would say I like the concepts of the upgrades and such quite a bit. The general mechanics seem, the concepts of the mechanics seem really solid. I think all the ideas of the game seem to all be very sensible and should come together in a way that would be really fun. There are a lot of the more kind of fundamental elements of, you know, the minor details of the movement and the attacks and the enemy designs, things like this, which could definitely be improved upon. So that's some of that stuff is not easy to just like give a word or two of feedback about. You know, it's stuff that you have to kind of go into more detail with, and it's hard to get into that in a video like this. But you know, I definitely mentioned some things. The enemy designs were a little bit simplistic also. You know, that they just kind of spat out bullets, and it was kind of, that was about it for the most part, at least for the ones that I encountered. And not like interesting patterns or anything, so, you know, you could definitely work some more interest in there as well. But of course the other thing is that there were a lot of bugs, unfortunately, that were not minor by any stretch, so, you know, a lot of stuff to work out in that regard. You know, all the bugs in the menu and the D-pad working intermittently, all sorts of other things. I don't know if that crash was, like, I don't know how much more of the game I was supposed to play through, like, how much more was after where it was crashing for me. So definitely a lot of bugs to work out, but as I mentioned, I really do like the ideas and the upgrades that I encountered so far. They're all like cool stuff. You know, I'm not completely new to shooters and stuff, so these types of things are things that I appreciate on a conceptual level. So I think you had some really good ideas. But yeah, just a lot of things that could be tightened up. So hopefully this video will help give you some ideas and some direction on what you could work on. And if you have any more questions, definitely let me know. And I will see you in the next one.